let's get straight to the point. Technology. Um, over the years, I've been noticing that a lot of kids are not going out as much. I remember when I was a kid, speaking about sports, speaking about hockey, always going outside. I grew up with my grandmother. She's from Trinidad and Tobago, very strict woman. Um, but that comes from a good place. She didn't want me to go too far and this, that, and the other, and you know what I mean. She was very strict on where I would go and who I would hang out with, and as a kid, you don't really understand it. You get upset and frustrated because of that. But then you get older and you realize it was just it was all out of love and them caring for you. And I'm sure a lot of your parents were the same way. They it's their job to protect you, right? It's their obligation to protect you. But I say that to say that I played a lot of sports. That was the thing where she would let me go and do my thing. You know what I mean? She knew I loved sports. She knew I loved hockey. So when I go down the street or a couple blocks away or whatever, or to the park or to the rink or whatever in the winter to play pickup hockey or whatever it was, playing ball hockey on the street, or she would let me go do my thing because she realized that that was something that I loved. And I say all that to say that that was the norm for me. Just like come home from school, do your homework, freshen up, shower, eat some food, and then go play hockey. And everybody's thing is different. There's some kids that went out and played football, soccer, baseball, basketball, skateboarding, rollerblading. There's just so many, activities that you can do. And what I'm noticing is that technology is really taking over. And again, what I'm saying is not deep. It's common sense. But a lot of things that I speak about on this channel need to be spoken, more. It needs to be highlighted. You know what I mean? A lot of things that we see, a lot of things that we hear, a lot of things that we witness, a lot of things that we read are bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit being promoted and programmed and conditioned and brainwashed, towards us, propaganda, and it's crazy. But I say all that to say that, a lot of kids are not going outside anymore. A lot of kids are staying home on the iPad, on their laptop, on their phone, playing video games. And to me, it's not a matter of, oh, well, that's your opinion, keep it to yourself. No, this people have to speak about this shit because it's getting out of hand. A lot of our youth, and I see it with my family. And again, this is Raw Dog TV, so I don't give a shit about how people feel about what I have to say. You know what I mean? As long as what I'm saying is logical and realistic and rational and it's the truth and it's common sense and it's relatable to a lot of people, I'm going to say what I feel. So there's a lot of people in my family, a lot of, younger cousins and so on that I see it. They're turning into robots, turning into zombies, sheeps. Taking drugs is one thing and eating a bunch of junk food is one thing. All that stuff is horrible, but technology is growing so fast. And I think about the jobs as well. Like, will people even have jobs 20, 30 years from now? Because automation is taking over. But I guess that's a topic video for another day. But it kind of correlates with what I'm saying. Because I had this discussion with a friend earlier, and it's just sad. A lot of people are not getting out the house. They're not occupied. They're not busy. They're not active. They're not working out. They're not moving around. You know what I mean? And staying fit and being, active. Like I said, it's sad. Yeah, I have a laptop. I got my phone. I got my video games. I love to play, hockey on the PS5. But and play tennis and play MMA. Those sports that I love, the games that I love. I'm not into all the violent games and all that bullshit. Even though MMA is violent, but it's not violent. It's structure. It's discipline. It's mixed martial arts. It's not like a shooting game that could really, brainwash you and tarnish your fucking brain. You know what I mean? I don't take it that far where I think this is reality. You know what I mean? But I say all that to say that, yeah, I engage in these things as well. But I mean, I still make time to go hiking. I still make time to go jogging. I still make time to go biking, to play ball hockey, to play ice hockey, to play tennis. You know what I mean? To lift a little bit of weights in my garage. Like, I still have to get up and do shit, you know? And, you know, for me it's different because as a kid, you know, they said that I had ADD or ADHD, whatever. So, you know, I don't really buy into that. I do have a lot of energy. I'm very emotional. A lot more logical than I was when I was a kid, but I am very emotional, very passionate, very intense, lots of energy. And as I get older, I learn to use that, you know, for good, and transmit that energy into building a better life for myself, and looking at ADHD, ADD, whatever, as a superpower. You know what I mean? So yeah, but I've always been that type of dude where I have so much energy. I can't just stay in the house and do nothing. I can't just stay in the house and only do this or do that, you know. I have to get out and do something. And like a lot of kids nowadays, like I said, are just turning into robots, turning into sheeps, always on the video games, and it's only going to get worse, you know. So I'm not trying to tell you what to do as an older brother, as an older sister, as a parent, but we have to not forget physical activity. You know, when it comes to drugs, when it comes to whatever vice, you know, that you're into, alcohol, cigarettes, gambling, junk food, shopping, whatever it is, we have to do everything in moderation. So with the video games and with the technology growing at a rapid pace, we have to have control over it, because we have to have control over ourselves first, but we have to control our consumption, because if we don't, it's going to control us. You know, and there's a few times I had to check myself, like, whoa, I've been on this fucking laptop for too long. I need to take a break and go out and do something. Or, whoa, I've been playing this hockey game for way too long. You know what I mean? Like, there's that line you don't want to cross. You know, it's all about balance, and it's all about doing things in moderation. And what I'm seeing from this new generation, and it's going to get worse, but what I'm seeing is just people getting lazy, complacent. And, you know, a lot of beta males are going to be created because of that. And then they're going to get older and blame everybody else, and they're going to complain, and they're going to make excuses, you know, because deep down they're fucking losers. They never, you know, put a lot of focus and concentration and time and energy into their purpose, into building their life and focusing on health. And, you know what I mean? You got to get your money up. But, you know, going back to what I said, those are the days that there's a lot of things I'll never forget, but playing sports as a kid with my peers, on the street, at the park, at school, those are days I'll never forget. And I'm sure most of you watching this video can see what's going on and understand what I'm saying. It's just getting out of hand, you know. So again, I'm not trying to tell you parents and you older brothers and older sisters and older cousins what to do, just sharing my opinion. But you got to influence your people to do better. You know, and I know you can't force people to do what they don't want to do. You can't force people to live a certain life that they don't want to live themselves. You know, they have to be able to walk through the door. You can show them which door is the right door to walk through, but you can't force them to walk through, you know, door number 1 or door number 2. You know, they have to make that decision. They have to make that choice for themselves, right? So I say all that to say that, you know, we have to influence our people, our friends, our kids, our family members to do better. You know, and at the end of the day, you don't want to, you know, force your beliefs on anybody. You don't want to, you know, make people feel uncomfortable. But I feel that technology is really taking over, where it's like, yeah, people are still going to the gym, but I mean, a lot of these young kids are just, you know, tapping into that world where everything is about video games and technology and, you know, dating girls online. And you know what I mean? Like, I've met a lot of girls online, so there's nothing, I can't say there's nothing wrong with it, but I mean, like, again, balance, moderation. You know, everything is just about technology. And technology could be good, but it could also be bad. There's pros and there's cons. There's positives and negatives to everything in life, including technology. You know what I mean? So we have to be careful. We have to watch out for automation. There's obviously viruses and diseases that could shut a lot of things down, financial crashes, but, you know, automation is another one that we have to watch out for. And the only people that are going to benefit from that are the owners of Amazon, the owners of these big corporations, these huge institutions, you know, these multi-billionaires that own all this shit. You know what I mean? But the people at the bottom is like, you know, where are we gonna work? You know, so we have to find a job that, like, you know, we know that's gonna be around for a long time, and we have to be selective. We have to be, you know, we have to be careful what industry we're getting into, because automation is it's happening right now. But in 5, 10, 15 years, it's gonna get worse. You know what I mean? And it's just, to me, like, you know, I don't want to make this video too long, but it's just like I see a lot of kids just making the wrong decisions. You know what I mean? Like, in my opinion, sports and physical activity could really help a lot of children with their depression, with their anxiety, with, you know, controlling their emotions and controlling their reactions and controlling their thoughts a bit better. And it could help you be more social. You see a lot of kids, they're very insecure, that they can't look you in your eye. They're very beta. You know what I mean? They have no confidence. They have no, you know what I mean? It's pretty sad. You know, so in my opinion, sports is vital. It's important. You know, you got to take care of your health. You got to eat the right things. You got to get out the house and do shit. You know, if you're just sitting down, like a guy I was talking to earlier was telling me that sitting down is the new smoking. You know what I mean? And like, I didn't really understand what he meant by that, but I'm slowly processing what he meant, and you know, it's sad but true. In terms of just being an addiction and just like slowing you down, and it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like, it's just, people are just, you know what I mean? A lot of kids, like, that's all they do. They will go home or go to school, I should say, and then it's back home on the computer. It's back home. You know what I mean? It's not just going out and playing sports. It's going out and actually having a social life. Go to the zoo. Go to the museum. Go to the fucking movies. You know what I mean? Go get someone to eat every now and then. Whatever it is. But it's like, to be in the house like a robot. You know what I mean? Because if technology wasn't so advanced as it is right now, would kids still be going out and having fun? And, you know what I mean? To me, the numbers have dropped. You know what I mean? If technology wasn't so advanced as it is right now, I wouldn't be making this video. You know what I mean? I wouldn't try to be encouraging you to, you know, do better, so to speak, you know, to get out and do what you got to do. You know what I mean? To me, it's dangerous. You know, I'm not an expert, but to me, it's dangerous to fall into that trap, that technology trap, and just be there. You know, you're not an owner. You're not some type of big mogul. You're not a boss. You're not, you know, a business owner. You're just a regular average Joe being obsessed with technology and being obsessed with just, you know, being on your screen 24/7. You know, to me, it's like, I don't think it's even good for the eyes. I don't think it's good for the brain. You know what I mean? It's like an overload of technology. It's an overload, and it can be very dangerous. But you know, these videos are very random. You know, I just get the urge, I get the feeling, you know, once I'm in the park, biking, jogging, you know, walking, whatever, and I just get the, you know, feeling, you know, let me make a video and let me speak on this, and again, my words are not law. You know what I mean? I'm just giving my opinion, just sharing how I feel, and I like to speak on things that I know the average person doesn't like to speak on, or they just don't have that even in their fucking brain. Like, they, you know what I mean? They're sheep to the core. You know what I mean? So to even speak about these things is like so abnormal to them. But conversations like this need to be highlighted, and need to be, you know, conversations and topics and subjects that people come together and discuss. You know what I mean? Because it's like, technology is not going to slow down anytime soon. So it's up to us to have control over our lives and say, you know what, I'm going to have more balance in my life. I'm going to have more, you know, I'm going to, you know, moderation. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Do what you want to do. No one could tell you what to do, right? So you go and you do what you want to do, live the life that you want to live, but just be careful. People just think of like addictions and habits and dependencies. They think of cigarettes, they think of alcohol, they think of junk food, they think of, you know, drugs. There's many drugs out there, many types of junk food out there, many types of this and that, you know? So I say that to say, don't forget technology. Your phone is an addiction. You know, being on your phone so much, and being on your laptop, and being on your PS5, your Xbox, that could turn into a bad habit. That could turn into an addiction. That could turn into, you know, complacency. That can turn into just you know, not really focusing on your purpose as much, and losing that traction, losing that purpose, losing that drive. You know what I mean? And it could be dangerous. And it could be the reasons why you end up in your 30s, in your 40s, living like a fucking bum, being a loser. You know, these drugs could really hold you back and slow you down. Junk food and liquor and cigarettes and gambling and, you know what I mean, video games and too much technology. All of this, all of this shit could really slow you down. And we can't blame technology. We can't blame marijuana or this drug or that drug or alcohol. You know, we have to be accountable. We have to hold ourselves accountable and be responsible for the mistakes that we're making. And as you can see from the videos that I upload, I'm always talking about my insecurities. I'm always talking about my past weaknesses and my past flaws and the flaws and mistakes that I still have and still make today. You know, it's not about trying to impress anybody. It's not about trying to impress anybody or compete with anybody. It's just like, yo, let's come together and let's share and let's build together. Let's put our resources together. Let's put our intellect and our knowledge and our wisdom together and just do better. That's what life is all about, learning from each other. I say that again and again. So, you know, it's all about doing better. And I don't want to make this video too long. You know, my advice to you is get out the house, do shit. You know, I see a lot of you kids just getting involved in bullshit, smoking too much weed, playing too much video games, even though this video is about, you know, more so technology, but I'm talking about all the distractions. You know, we have to focus on our purpose. We have to focus on what really matters. And all that other shit, when you're addicted to it, it doesn't matter. It's just going to kill you. Maybe not literally, you know, not physically, but it's going to destroy your mind. It's going to destroy your drive. And it's going to destroy the vibrancy you have internally. I also noticed that when people do social things, go to the zoo, go to the amusement park, Disney World, the club, the bar, the casino, a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of these young people, my peers, and even people that are a bit older, are only doing these things for social media. They're only doing these things for likes. They're only doing these things for comments. They're only doing these things for more visibility and more attention and validation. And it's crazy. And so are you really into animals? Is that the reason why you're really going to the zoo? Because you're really into animals? Or you just want your friend to snap a picture of you next to a tiger? Again, it goes back to, you know, what I'm saying about people being so obsessed with social media, you know, being so obsessed with, you know, technology that it really consumes them as opposed to them consuming whatever product or whatever gadget or whatever. It starts to take control over them. And you know, what you see a lot on social media is these people, young kids, you know what I mean? Young kids that should be, you know, getting out the house and doing shit and really trying to, like, elevate their lives. And because when you're young, you have a, you know, you have a good head start. You should start early. If it's eating healthy, if it's physical activity and, you know, physical fitness, you know, saving money. You know, you get your little money from your parents for doing chores, or you start working at 15, 16 part-time. You know, we should be doing all of these beneficial things at a young age. A lot of things that I look back on and I say to myself, I wish I knew this then. But it's normal. It's like, it's not the end of the world as long as you can learn from it as soon as possible. You know, I don't want to wait till I'm in my 30s, 40s, 50s to start making major changes. I feel you got to make those changes in your 20s. You know, so I see a lot of young kids just being so obsessed with social media and being so obsessed with that virtual world, that virtual reality, which is an illusion. It's not real. It's not real life. And that's why a lot of these OGs, a lot of these older folks are making fun of, you know, a lot of the young folks, a lot of the young kids, you know what I mean? Because it's like a lot of these things that they're doing are some clown shit. It's like you're just wasting time when you should be on your purpose, when you should be saving now, when you should be investing now, when you should be, you know, eating better and whatever it is. You know, but like I said, social media is just, it's getting out of hand, you know what I mean? Now, if I was some type of famous person or business mogul or whatever, and I needed it to, you know, market and promote myself, because a lot of these entertainers, they're brands, you know, like they endorse and sponsor and whatever, you know, they endorse a lot of products, but them themselves are a walking business. They're a walking product. They're an asset. They're a commodity. They're a brand, you know. So they use that to promote and market, and a lot of them use it in a way just like the mainstream media does with a lot of shit, just propaganda, bullshit, divide and conquer type of shit some of these guys do. You know what I mean? Just pure shit, like pure bullshit that's not really going to elevate the mind, but suppress the mind and brainwash and program things into that child's mind that shouldn't be there. But I say all that to say is that if you're an entertainer, cool, use it, market yourself, whatever. If you're some type of business owner, whether it's small, whether it's mid, whether it's large, you got to use that. You got to tap into that. You got to adjust, and you have to make adjustments and make changes and adapt to the current events, but not to the point where it's like you're just giving it 100%. You know, my Uncle Johnny always used to tell me, live in the world, but don't be a part of it. So if I was one of these people that had this huge platform and I needed it to promote my, you know, my brand, I would definitely take advantage of that, but I would still have that balance, and I would still do things in moderation. And with these young kids looking at these rappers and all that shit, they think that that's reality. They think that what they see on these, you know, in these rap videos and what they see, you know, on social media, Instagram and all this shit, you know, they think it's real. They think that that's how the average life is, and they think this and they think that. Not all, you know, but many kids do start to, you know, change who they are. Their parents don't even know. You know, all kids go through phases, but I mean, technology is really like, especially if you're insecure and you're lost and you don't really know, like you don't really know who you are yet, you know, that could really destroy you. You know what I mean? And the question I have, you know, for a lot of these kids is, what are you celebrating? You know, I was listening to an IG live, Russ, King Los, and Royce da 5'9", and another gentleman, I forgot his name, but yeah, and just a lot of things stood out in that IG live. A lot of knowledge, a lot of gems were being dropped in that live. But one of the questions Russ was asking, he's like, and that was towards the end, you know, it was 4 guys and 3, then 2, and it was Royce da 5'9", Russ at the end, and Russ ended it by asking Royce da 5'9", like, why are these kids like, you know what I mean? Like, these kids are giving people their opinion, or their irrelevant opinion, and you know what I mean, always commenting on shit and hating on shit and you know, being someone that they're not behind a screen, but it's like, you know, and the posts that they make are just so fake and so disingenuous and just so like not them. And the question is like, what are you guys really celebrating? You know, whether you go to the club and you're trying to turn up and you're trying to get lit, as they say, it's like, what's the purpose? What's the motive? What are you celebrating? You still have so much work to do. You know what I mean? If you're really about your purpose, you wouldn't be even focusing on this shit. And the same question could be asked when it comes to social media. What are you really celebrating? You can't just tell me, oh no, it's a part of life and da-da-da. You know, another thing he said in the live was that, you know, you don't know what you want until society gives it to you. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that are popular right now that a lot of people are into, and if it never became popular, you would never become, you know, interested in that. You know, so you gotta know what you want. You can't be so brainwashed and conditioned and programmed and so gullible, you know, to just, you know, be socially engineered into things. It's like, you gotta be careful. A lot of people, a lot of groups, a lot of institutions, a lot of people with power, wealth, and influence, they know how to, on a psychological level, socially engineer shit. I spoke about that before in other videos. Social engineering. So be careful. Be careful. You know, a lot of these kids are looking up to the rappers and thinking that's real, this, that, and they, you know, monkey see, monkey do. So they go on Instagram and they do the same thing, but the question is, what are you celebrating? You know what I mean? What are you trying to show off? Like, you haven't accomplished shit. You know, most of these people on Instagram, the ones with the egos, there's plenty of people on Instagram that are just keeping it simple. They don't need to try to put on a show and entertain. They're just whatever. But there's a lot of sheeps out there that they're trying to compete. They're trying to impress people. They're trying to show people, hey, I got this. I just went to the, like, you know, I went to the Louis store. I got a belt. You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. And they're going to put it on IG just to, like, get likes and comments. It's like, bro, how insecure are you? Like, how insecure are you? You know what I mean? That you need likes and comments and validation to build yourself up, to build your confidence, your self-esteem, you know, your manhood, whatever it is. And there's a lot of women doing clown shit too. So, you know, I gotta talk to them as well. But I mean, it's to everybody. And when I was younger, I'm sure I used to do some clown shit. I know I did some clown shit on all these social media platforms. Because again, I'm only 26, so I grew up on this stuff. But again, everything's about balance, everything's about moderation, everything's about, knowing what's real, knowing what's authentic, and knowing what's fake and disingenuous, and just not, there's no meaning, there's no purpose, there's no substance. It's just like a lot of shit we see is just fuckery. And then you see the kids try to emulate that, try to copy that, and it's like, it's just crazy when you look at everything across the board, from video games to social media to all this gadgets, laptops, phones, iPads, this, that. It's just like, yes, a lot of this stuff is very convenient, makes life easier, makes this human experience on this planet a lot easier and a lot more convenient when there's new innovative things that come and hit the market and hit society. But again, too much of anything could be very bad. Too much of anything could be very bad. And, again, I don't want to rant, I don't want to tell people what to do, but, take less time, get off the phone, get off the computer, get off the video games, go out there and be productive, live life, be social with girls, and vice versa, whatever. Be social with your friends, with your family. Go out there and hit the gym, go jogging, go hiking. Physical activity is amazing. Not just for the physical part, but also for you emotionally, mentally. It helps with a lot of shit, I'm telling you. All these video games and all this technology and the overload of consumption, what's the benefit? Answer that for me. What is the benefit? Again, if you're marketing and promoting yourself, cool, but I'm talking about the average person. There's billions of people on all these social media platforms, on all these apps and shit. I'm talking about the average person, majority. The majority of these people on these platforms are not going to be messy. They're not going to be Rick Ross. They're not going to be Drake. They're not going to be all these entertainers who need the social media platforms because they adjusted and they know that this is the new wave to promote and market ourselves. So again, like, what are you celebrating? You know what I mean? Like, keep it simple. You don't got to go on there and try to impress people and try to compete with people. And, and then when it comes to the video games, you don't got to be always in the house doing nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just ranting, but I definitely see a lot of benefits with, social media and technology as a whole. But we have to be careful. We have to have balance. And this AI technology and all this shit that they're doing is going to get worse. There's a lot of things that they're going to do to, violate our freedom. We see a lot of censorship going on right now, and it's only the beginning. So, us being so obsessed with what these people create and innovate, it gives them more leverage. It gives them more of an upper hand. It gives them more power. And it all goes back to, social engineering. And, the people with the most influence and the most wealth and power, they want more of that. So just be careful. Live your life. Don't be too one-dimensional. Like I say in MMA, be a well-rounded fighter. You don't want to be a one-dimensional fighter because you're not going to last. You're going to get eaten alive. You're going to get picked apart. So you have to be well-rounded. You don't want to be one-dimensional. That's all you do is you're home on your laptop like a loser. Like, what are you building? What are you doing? Again, like, we could accomplish anything we set our minds to, but a lot of people are just lazy and, they don't have that understanding of the potential they truly have and the things that they can do on this planet before they go. And it's like, there's no confidence, there's no drive, but it's all about growth. It's all about learning from each other. And again, I'm not trying to judge nobody. You live, your life the way you want to live it. And I'm going to live my life the way I want to live mine. But, I come to these, I make these videos to try to uplift people, motivate people, have the discussion, have the conversation, and try to find people that are, on the same similar frequency. But, yeah, balance, moderation, keep that in mind. You know what I mean? We don't want to give these people any more power than they already have. They're just luring you in like a fish, you know what I mean? Like, we'll give you this and we want you. And like, they're just tapping into your mind. And again, I don't want to, go in too deep on that. The video's been long enough, but thanks for watching and we'll talk soon. Peace.